Hi, mamas. It's Michelle Noble from the Calmer Mom Project. And I am so happy to be talking to you this week. Right here, we've made it, we're past Thanksgiving, and Christmas is coming with all of the attendant activities and cooking and visiting and expectations and projections around what Christmas is supposed to mean. And some of you may have other holiday traditions, Hanukkah, or other, solstice, other traditions around this time of year. But it definitely is a time that a lot can come up. In fact, there's even a clearing from access consciousness that I just love, which is what invention of you are you using to create the invention of you for your family that you are choosing? And everything that is, will you just destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And to me, those inventions we make of ourselves for others are all kind of ways that we put on these layers and weights that cover up or keep contained who we truly are, our true selves. I was talking to a lovely friend of mine who studies Ayurveda about how it's amazing how so many of these healing approaches to healing are really all about what would it take to lighten your load so that you could be all of who you truly be. And I know this sounds like maybe I'm not talking so directly to our journey as moms, but the demands, the asks that come with being a mother become huge. I mean, I thought I had a lot of asks in my life when I wasn't a mom, and now they have just exponentialized. As our children, when they're infants, they have a lot of asks and needs that they really can't meet on their own, without calling in, using their energy, their great strength to pull in your contribution or other adults to contribute to their wellness. And as they get older, they get more independent, but they have to learn, and we have to learn how to give them the space to actually meet their own needs. So sometimes one of the things I end up saying to my kids a lot are it's not actually my job to satisfy you, because they would keep me running 24/7 with the next thought that pops into their mind that might be lovely, whether it be another glass of juice or a game or something, and da, 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 da. And the thing is that running to meet their needs, their asks, I won't call them needs. Some of them are, I don't know if I really even want to call those needs. Some of them are requirements, but if I keep running constantly to meet them, what ends up happening is I feel burned out. So I think children do have a requirement of our attention and our love and our presence. And also, we can end up running so hard to meet their asks that we don't actually meet their requirements. So, wow. So, everywhere that you have been distracted by your children's asks and may or may not actually be meeting and be present for them for their requirements and your own requirements. Whoa, there is a lot of energy around that. I did not see that baby coming. So let us just, everything that brought up, let's just destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. If you haven't heard me talk about access consciousness and the clearing statement I'm using, it's probably you're going, what the heck is she babbling about? Go to theclearingstatement.com and it'll explain it. But it's one of the foundations of the tools I use. And what you really just need to know about it is it's like a reset button. It just clears out all the garbage that gets stuck around these things. So if you can just receive that for what it is, you don't even have to bother looking it up. So you just saved yourself a bunch of time. How does it get any better than that? So one other thing I wanted to bring up this week is I was gifted, really. I mean, it was such a gift. This friend of mine, Tammy Wilson-Smith, she is an amazing health and life coach, and she works specifically with women as well as like I do. And she's also here in the Linwood, Edmonds, this kind of area geographically. Anyway, she showed me she has this cool acronym. She says SELF. And each one stands for something about self-care. S is surround yourself with the people and experiences that bring you joy. E, experience your feelings, every one of them, We must acknowledge when we are sad, disappointed, angry, irritated, depressed, and anxious. And something I've really been recognizing lately is that even though in the work of Access, I've discovered, using those tools, I've discovered that a lot of those times, those feelings of sadness, disappointment, grief, anger, irritation, depression, anxiousness, all those things are often things I'm picking up from someone else, or picking up like I've adopted them from someone else's point of view, maybe someone I grew up with or someone that I really respected, a teacher or a mentor, someone else in my life that means a lot to me. Maybe they are having those feelings, and in kind of a misguided attempt to lighten their load or show them they're not alone. Wow, yeah, I end up taking on their emotions. And so everything that is times a godzillion, unless I'm just the only one. Just destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. But one of the things I was going to say about that is that even though those feelings may not belong to me, if I go into resistance of them and try to push them away, they actually don't dissipate as easily. So if I can just let myself have the emotion, and I think this is a little different than how Tammy was talking about it. So if this is my point of view, if it doesn't match you, just, whatever, move on. But for me, what I've noticed is if I am an allowance of that feeling, like, oh, wow, that, let it have some intensity, but then let it even expand. As it expands, it's like almost like the little molecules of the emotion, they get farther away, almost like water that's evaporating, and then they can actually move on more easily. And I can either use the tools of Access to clear them, or even if you're not using tools like that, you can kind of like do a 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3 to let them go, or just be kind of an allowance, and you might have some awareness of what you could do to change the situation. L, lighten your load. And I'm going to skip over to go back to that one. F, be fearless in your belief. We must choose to believe in ourselves, our gifts, our ability to succeed through being our authentic selves. I love that. So since lighten your load was really my theme for today, despite all the other stuff I've been throwing at you, I've been doing a lot of lightening right now. I've been doing a body cleanse, which is, I think, something that showed up after a lot of asking about what it's going to take to really be more connected with my body and my awareness and the awareness that my body has. We've been working on making more spaces in our house. Obviously, this is not a load that has been lightened yet. More work to do. All right, perfectly imperfect. How does it get any better? How much fun? There's even more and more lightening that can be happening. And I'm asking more and more often. I've heard the saying, do what you have to do and what you want to do. Well, even in that have to do, play around with that same energy of, gosh, does that even belong to me? Do I really have to do that? Or is that an ask from someone else that is coming from something they may perceive as a need, or that would make their life a lot, they feel like maybe it would create some space for them, or they feel like that's what you should want to do, or they have a lot of points of view about it. Well, the truth is, if you meet their ask coming from the requirement, the structure of their point of view that they need you to do it or you should do it, that is not going to create more for you or them in the world. So have the courage, be fearless in your belief that if you take care, I don't mean take care of you, if you take care of you, if you are in care of you, if you be care of you, you will actually be creating more in the world, even if that doesn't show up in the way that other people would always like it to. So my phone is ringing and I've got a meeting right now, and I'm, as always, just doing, 3 things at once. So how fun is that? And what could I do to lighten my load? Or that and lighten your load doesn't actually necessarily mean doing less. It might mean doing more, but more of what really feeds your soul. So be well, lovely mamas. You are the heartbeat. You are the heartbeat. And take that to mean that means, like the beating of your heart in your own body, you would never take that. You would never, the whole body would break down without it. And so, like your heart, you need to be nurtured, cared for. You are the one to do that. Go forth, do that. And And by doing that, you will show your children and the world around you how important heart nurturing really is. So, anyway, that was a long one. Hope you hung in for it. And if not, oh well, have fun.